Hi, everyone, and welcome. And really, thank you for joining us this evening, this afternoon for some of you. I am Stephen Smith with Direct Travel and Vision Travel, and I am just going to wait for 30 seconds to a minute, let everybody join on, and then we will get going with this incredible cruise event featuring the Galapagos with our great partner, Celebrity Cruises. And look at all those great pictures, and look at this guy behind me. I always point the wrong way. Look at this guy. Wouldn't it be nice to be watching him from 6 feet away instead of behind me on a screen? Well, and I think we're pretty close to being there, so that's definitely exciting. So we'll just see. I think we've got a fair number of people joining. So why don't we get started? So again, I am Stephen Smith from Direct Travel and Vision Travel, and I really do want to thank you for taking the time to join us. The weather's beautiful outside, so we certainly appreciate you running through this incredible event featuring Galapagos. And before we get started, I want to let you know that we really love to take questions at the end of the event. And so if you could enter them into the Q&A module in Zoom and type them in there, we will go through them at the end. We'll read them out for everybody to hear, and we'll provide the best answers we possibly can, whether it's Brenda, who you see on the screen here, or Chris, or who's Susanna, who's joining us in just a moment. We'll have a panel that can answer those questions for you. So please don't hesitate to ask any question. We do have a surprise offer for you at the end, so so stick around for that, and we will fill you in on the details of that. But before we get to that, we're going to learn all about the Galapagos. So I am going to hand it over to Brenda and Chris, and they're going to introduce our guest speaker for this evening and get things going. So Brenda, over to you.
Thank you, Stephen. Hello, everyone, and thank you once again for joining Celebrity Cruises and this very unique and amazing presentation. I'm here with my colleague in the US, Chris, who also will be answering any questions, and he takes care of all of our travel advisors and customers down in the United States. And Chris, where are you reporting from today?
I'm from beautiful Sonoma County, but behind me we have the beautiful Galapagos. That's where we're reporting from today.
And I'm up in beautiful Oakville, Ontario, but I'm pretending I'm back in the Galapagos here with my twins. And you know, you're all here to hear the stories of this wonderful destination. I'm not going to steal any thunder. We have this amazing guest speaker who actually started up the whole Galapagos program from the beginning of time. She's amazing. She's our director of Galapagos. She's been there a lot of times. It's her second home. She's going to touch your soul and heart with her stories and hopefully inspire you to go to the Galapagos and experience this wonderful destination. So Chris and I, we give you, it's a great pleasure for us, along with Direct and Vision Travel, to have Susanna Romero take the stage. Hi, Susanna.
You are so nice, and it is always such a pleasure to spend time with you, with my colleagues, with Direct Travel and Vision Travel, and with their distinguished guests. So thank you for having me today. These are two pictures of me, plus you see me. See, you've got the corporate Susanna, and then you have the Susanna that really likes being Susanna, which is Susanna in the Galapagos Islands. It is an amazing place to visit, and if you allow me today, I'd like to take you there just for the next 30 minutes or so. We're going to take a journey, and I'm going to show you what Galapagos is all about, what she feels like, what she looks like, and why you should be going very, very quickly. It is truly a legendary journey, and it truly awaits in Galapagos.
Someday is finally here, and we're ready to sail beyond again, without compromise. Our crew is working to perfect every detail. All that's missing is you. So let's go. Discover a new collection of award-winning vacations from Celebrity Cruises.
And yes, we have just announced our healthy return to service to the Galapagos Islands as of July 4th. We are back on. We are resuming our voyages there, first with our Celebrity Flora, shortly after with our Celebrity Expedition, and just shortly after that with our Exploration, which is our third vessel. And we'll talk about all of that later, but I wanted to give you this update because we just announced this and we are ultra excited. I truly do understand that in Canada, things are not as advanced when it comes to reopening as they are in the US, but I know in my heart, and I am very plugged into what's going on in your neck of the woods. I know that better times are coming. I know that there is a lot of good news coming your way. I know that there's been a lot of progress made, and that very soon you will have the ability to travel and get going again. And that's what it's all about. So Galapagos is back. We're back in service in less than 4 weeks, and I will be there. I will be on board Celebrity Flora for our first sailing because I can't wait. And I want to make sure that I experience it with the first group of people that are going to go back. So let's go. We're back and we are ready
Susanna,
to go. Yes.
Susanna, sorry to interrupt you, but we cannot see you. So can you turn your camera off and back on? Because your contagious smile is important, I think, for our guests to see. So
can you see me?
No, we don't see you, you know, and we do a technical test at the beginning of this and we saw Susanna and now we don't. So I am going to actually suggest, and sorry for the delay, but I think maybe you want to exit and come back in completely to see if your camera works again, because I think it's great if we can see you as you're speaking. And if you want, we have some polls, so I could run a poll with everybody while you log off and log back on if you want.
Okay, I will try that.
So if you just leave the webinar and come back on, and in the meantime, let's now we were going to run these polls later, but I think in the interest of what we're doing, we are going to try to run this poll there. I think Susanna's gone, and hopefully she comes back on. So let's run that poll to start things off while we're sorting out our technical challenges. So I think Susanna was probably going to share this in her presentation, but we're going to ask you now and see if you know this already. What percentage of the Galapagos is a national park? So if you go ahead and vote, and we will see, I suspect I know the answer. I may have been told the answer already, but I suspect I know it anyways. Hopefully we can get Susanna logging back on. I see she's off, so she'll be coming on shortly. And let's see what the results of the poll are. Here they come up. So 66% of you, 2/3 of you said 97%, and I'm going to get Brenda to confirm if that's correct, or Chris, either of you, if you want to jump on and confirm, that would be great. No one's there. Okay, I've got official notice.
That is correct. It is
that
correct.
It is correct. There we are,
Yes.
Brenda. Thank you. All right. Well, that's fantastic. Now we still don't see Susanna, so I think we're going to have to proceed with her lovely voice taking us through the presentation, because I don't want to delay anymore. So Susanna, if you can put the presentation back up, and we will just get things going. Sorry for the delay, but this is why we love doing things in person whenever we can, because these technical challenges sometimes are unavoidable, but we will just proceed with things. I think we still don't see you, Susanna, so let's just get that presentation back up and we will move things forward, and we will see the beautiful pictures that you're going to share with us of this remarkable destination. Here we go.
Can you hear me at least?
We can hear you. So if you want to just put that into presentation mode, and we will get things going.
Certainly. And here we go. So again, apologies for that. It was working perfectly before, as you mentioned. So you're just gonna have to hear my voice, and hopefully I can convey the same emotion that I feel, and you can hear me well. So as I was saying, and we're back as of the 4th of July, which is quite the date for North America. And we will continue offering eco-luxurious journeys in Galapagos. And that means many different things, right? And that means things that are way beyond the animals and beyond the flora and the fauna. Our company has a true commitment to being community focused and to be very, very respectful of the communities that we visit and the things that we do in these communities, right? And I want to share some of these things with you because I think they're truly important. We have an amazing Galapagos fund. Our guests get to contribute money that is 100% earmarked for projects in Galapagos. To date, there's been more than $1.5 million in guest contributions that go directly to an incredible reforestation project, only one in Galapagos in conjunction with the Galapagos National Park, where we get to plant, and I mean we, our guests, our crew, gets to plant trees. We have now planted over 50,000 trees in Santa Cruz. We have built soccer fields and spaces for children with special needs where they get to actually showcase their artwork. We work with the agricultural community and the fishery co-ops, and we really are involved. And I want to show you a little clip of what we do when we are there. I love that video. I can't wait to go plant another tree when I go back. In addition to our community efforts, our environmental stewardship is like none other. Our vessels are equipped with state-of-the-art technology and especially celebrity flora. From the water treatment systems, our reverse osmosis systems on board the vessels, to the type of paint that we use to paint our ships, which allows to truly glide through the water and reduce fuel consumption, to dynamic positioning, which is an incredible system that allows us to be in position without dropping anchor. Zero single-use plastics. That's for the entire fleet in Galapagos. We even have the use of the recycle, our air conditioning condensation water, and we use it to do laundry. And we have solar panels on board to actually back up our energy. It is truly remarkable what we do there. And I think it's just as important as what we do when we are on board the vessels and we're delivering this experience. We truly believe there is a difference between visiting and experiencing. The Galapagos Islands are all about a connection. It's the flora, it's the fauna, but more importantly, it's about the water. It's about the currents. It's about what happens and how it influences everything that happens there.
So, sorry, I'm jumping on here, Susanna. We can't hear the sound. So I'm not sure if the the videos need to be optimized or not, but I just thought I would share that to see if we can perhaps do something to show them, because of course the sound is so optimal.
But it is one current.
There we are. I think we're going to start this again. I will disappear. Thank you.
There are no other places like it on Earth. A place where the surrounding ocean is the undercurrent that creates a unique web of life.
The Galapagos Islands are unusually rich in wildlife, in large part because of the ocean.
Here, deep, cold, nutrient-rich water is forced to the surface, setting off a chain of events that give rise to a wealth of strange and wondrous animals. The Galapagos lie at the intersection of several major ocean currents, but it is one current that is especially important.
At the equator, a current within the ocean's depths flows eastward, striking the submerged base of the Galapagos Islands. This sets in motion the very essentials for the creation of life.
As the equatorial undercurrent strikes the base of the islands in the west, cold, nutrient-rich water flows to the surface and acts like fertilizer. Algae and phytoplankton bloom, producing the food that fuels the island's life.
The phytoplankton, or tiny drifting plants, are eaten by small drifting animals or zooplankton, which then feed a wealth of other creatures in the islands.
Fish and squid eat the zooplankton and then are the prey for larger creatures.
Birds plunge and dive into the sea, where sea turtles and marine iguanas swim. Sea lions, penguins, sharks, and even whales come to feed.
When upwelling is the strongest, Galapagos is abundant with life. Animals reproduce. The young survive and juveniles grow strong.
With strong upwelling in the west, marine iguanas grow large and dense in population. Penguins and flightless cormorants thrive. As does the underwater life. In the Galapagos, many of the animals are unique or endemic to the islands.
In the Galapagos, the ocean provides the fuel that sparks life. And here, it is rich, wild, and like no other place on Earth.
In the Galapagos, the ocean provides the fuel that sparks life. That, to me, kind of says it all and puts it all in perspective. It's truly a remarkable place to visit. So before we get deeper into what Galapagos is all about, I just want to give you an idea of what this experience is all about. These are all inclusive.
Susanna, I'm going to
Yes.
interrupt you again. Sorry. We can see you now. I don't know what happened. It must be because it's 7:19, but we could hear the video and we can see you. So I wanted to let you know in case you didn't know. So there we go. I'm going to
Yes.
leave again, but things are looking up.
See, I'm so excited. This is fantastic. Thank you for
There we
letting me
go.
know.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I was still excited. I didn't know whether you were seeing me or not. I was hoping that you could. So yes, fantastic. I hope that you enjoyed that video from Dr. Prager, by the way. She is the scientist that keeps us on point, that makes sure that all of our programming is on science and it is the best that it can be. So I'm truly excited now that you can see me. These are all inclusive experiences. They include your pre and post stays in Quito, Ecuador. They include your round trip air to Baltra, to Galapagos after you're in Quito for 2 days. They include an exclusive flight. This is a flight nonstop that goes from Quito into Galapagos just for celebrity guests. All beverages, all gratuities, again, hotel stays, curated tours, all from a very unique point of view. We want to make sure that our guests are on land experiencing as much as we can give them. And that includes the culture, the sights, the sounds, and very important, the taste. So everything that we offer, including all of our meals, are from a culinary standpoint, because at the end, we are the foodie brand, right? So everything is included, shore excursions, all the equipment you're going to do, all the equipment you're going to need, all entrance fees. So this is truly, truly, fully all inclusive. These are some pictures of the amazing Quito Colonial City. This is the airplane that we use to go into Galapagos. If you're like me, you want to make sure that you're flying on a real airplane. And I know what real means to most of us that really want to know. We are on Avianca 319 Airbus. That is the airplane that we use to get to Galapagos every single week with our guests. It is about seeing it all through the eyes of the experts. And that's why we have this incredible, highly trained Galapagos National Park certified guides on board the vessel. And they're all trained by Dr. Prager. So this is truly quite different. What you are going to be doing is fully customized for you. Every night on board the vessel, there is a briefing. And during that briefing, you, our guest, gets to pick what you want to do the next day. This is a very active experience. You're going to be getting up early in the morning, going ashore for a morning experience. That morning experience can be a hiking tour, an off-the-beach excursion that includes doing some snorkeling, coastal exploration or kayaking, or it can be an advanced snorkeling opportunity. There's days when we even do 3 landings per day, morning, midday, and an afternoon. So you go to that briefing, you listen to what the next day's activities look like, and you make your decision. And you can pick a very high level experience in the morning where you're going to be more active and something slower in the afternoon. And by the way, if you change your mind and you want to do something different at the time, we can certainly accommodate that because these are very small groups. Going ashore is going to be 8 guests per naturalist. So you're going to get up close and personal with this naturalist and learn as much as you can and feel and see and taste so much when you are ashore that this will truly become a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The very first question that I get asked all the time is, so how close am I really going to get to these animals, right? Because if you're here today, I have a feeling that you are very well traveled, that you have done your share of exploring, right? And if you've been to Alaska or you've been to Africa, sometimes you wonder, am I really going to set out in the morning and look to see if I find wildlife? Well, the great thing about Galapagos, and no one really knows why, is that in Galapagos, animals have absolutely no fear of humans. As a result, when you arrive, they're there, and they're there for your enjoyment, they're there for you to observe, and they're there for you to learn. In this picture, you get to see what happens there. The naturalists get to truly bring to life what Galapagos is all about. Here you're looking at the giant tortoises in Santa Cruz. What's interesting and unique about the giant tortoises throughout the archipelago is that they are all different and unique to the islands that they live in, with a direct correlation with their food source and their terrain. And as you are in Galapagos, and as you get to see these islands, and as you get to learn about the terrain and why the Darwin finches are so different from island to island, and you begin to recognize that the food source and how they eat has all to do with the shape of their beaks and the shape of their feet and how they attach themselves to plants in order to feed, it all becomes very real and very interesting. I remember the first day that I landed in Fernandina Island, this one being the youngest of the islands in Galapagos, very volcanic, as you see the lava fields in here. And by the way, the Galapagos Islands have never been attached to a main body of land. These islands actually came about while tectonic plates were moving around in the Pacific Ocean. When those 2 tectonic plates collided, these islands came about. And when they came about, they were incredibly volcanic and volatile. And to today, they're incredibly active. So it wouldn't be surprising if you're around and in the far distance, you can see a volcano. We've had the pleasure of seeing that several times because this is a very active part of the world. What's truly unique about this island is these marine iguanas that you see here. Marine iguanas in Galapagos have adapted to actually find food from the bottom of the sea. They are on lava rocks. So they have found that by diving, not only swimming, but diving, they go down, they actually graze from the bottom of the sea, and they are able to find all of the food that they need to survive. When they come out of the water, they have developed a mechanism. They have adapted their bodies to be able to sneeze, to actually contract their stomachs and sneeze to the bottom, to the back of their heads. There's two little holes where they actually expel that water. So incredible behavior. But I've also learned that the currents, the temperature of the waters, and again, it all goes back to water, right? You heard it from Dr. Prager about the importance of these currents and the upwelling and the food. Especially for these animals, the temperature of the water has all to do with their survival. When the temperatures are very, very warm, the algae, the food dies. As a result, these animals have to go further out to look for algae, which is going to be in the areas where there is cooler water. As a result, they get exposed to more predators. They have many more opportunities to have issues when they're out swimming than when they have the cooler waters and the algae is closer to the shore. So incredible balance, incredible correlation between upwelling, temperature of the water, El Nino and La Nina phenomenons, and the population of the marine iguanas. The marine birds are amazing, and these three are my favorite. They do not migrate, so they live in Galapagos year-round. The blue-footed booby, which is probably the best known of the three boobies, with their incredible dancings and their whistles and how they relate to the female during their courtship time. And then the red-footed booby with those amazing red feet. And then the Nazca booby, which is very regal, very white, and with this amazing behavior where most seasons, the female Nazca booby will lay 2 eggs. Out of those 2 eggs, only one will survive because intuitively, the strongest of the chicks knows that the mother can only bring enough food to have one of those babies be strong and survive. Now, keep in mind, the main reason for these birds to be alive is to go eat, to get very strong, to find the strongest mate that they can have, so they can actually bring a new generation and maintain the species. So these 2 babies that are born, intuitively, the strongest of the 2 realizes that he must fight for that mother's food and lets the other one get out of the nest. And the mother understands that this is nature and this is the way that it works. So truly remarkable how it all kind of works together for Galapagos to continue to thrive. The king and the queen of the marine birds, probably around the world, and this is the waved albatross. The one in this neck of the woods comes to Española to nest from about February to about October, November. They come to the same island, and it is believed that they mate for life. These animals, these incredible marine birds, reunite in Española every year to have a brand new courtship with the same couple, have their eggs, raise them together, and teach them how to fly. And they have picked this incredible island because it has this very, very high cliffs with this wind draft that comes from the water. And the parents show their little chicks how to run towards that cliff, spread their wings, wait for that draft to come, catch it, and take off. They actually call it jokingly in Galapagos the Albatross Airport. This is where these birds learn how to fly. Now, at the end of the season, the male and the female leave Española and they go their separate ways. They go to different places, only to come back 4 months later for a brand new courtship and a brand new season. The terrain in Galapagos is absolutely remarkable. You can find yourself in an amazing white beach like you see here, powdery sand, incredible encounters with the marine mammals. You will be snorkeling with sea lions and penguins and incredible fish. And yes, the occasional shark. I always say that Galapagos is the only place in the world that when someone yells shark, people actually swim to them. It is a great, harmonious place where all of these creatures work together and live together. The next day, you can find yourself in a black beach or a red beach. Keep in mind, it's all about geology, it's all about geography, and it's all about the population of those fish and the corals in the area. When you have parrotfish that actually eat coral and that coral happens to be pink, guess what happens to that sand? So it is all very nicely tied into the population, the geology, and the geography of these islands. The encounters while snorkeling are amazing. I get asked all the time about diving in Galapagos, and don't offer diving. What we offer is snorkeling. But I also hear from experienced divers that the snorkeling in Galapagos is as good as any dive that they've ever had because of the abundance of life. What they get to see and what they get to experience in Galapagos, it is truly out of the ordinary. I can sit here and talk to you about Galapagos all night. I hope I have given you a nice taste of what she looks like and feels like and how truly amazing it is. But I should also tell you that we have an incredible fleet of new luxury vessels, from a 16-guest catamaran for those of you that are truly adventurous and want to be as close to the action as you want to be, which you can actually charter if you want to go with your own group, or you can book it on your own. And I can assure you that your direct travel and vision travel advisors, the one that invited you here today, will be happy to assist you with information about that. To Celebrity Expedition, on the left of your screen, the ship that started it all in 2004, like Brenda was saying, when I was part of that fortunate group that opened up this destination for celebrity cruises. Celebrity Expedition actually was launched as a 100-guest vessel, and today only carries 48. The big hero, the brand new vessel, our all-suite vessel, is Celebrity Flora in the middle. She carries 100 passengers. She is ultra luxury. Every one of her suites have amazing balconies, and she was designed to bring our guests closer than ever to the destination because she is fully open with a top deck dedicated entirely to outdoor enjoyment. I'll show you a little bit of an explanation. Just want you to get a little bit of an up close and just a nice view of these amazing vessels, and then Celebrity Flora, and I'll share a short video, and hopefully you can hear the music and read the incredible reviews that we're getting about her. the ship was designed with the destination in mind, and I want to kind of grab your attention to these cabanas that you see on this picture at the very end of the top deck. And these cabanas are available for an overnight experience. We offer a glamping experience where our guests get to spend the night outdoors. We outfit these cabanas with covers. One becomes a living room and a dining area, and the other one is a bedroom with a beautiful bed. The experience includes the services of a naturalist that comes and does a private stargazing experience, which, by the way, in Galapagos is like no place on earth. And then a dinner that is campfire inspired. And then in the morning, a beautiful sunrise breakfast. So one-of-a-kind experience in the Galapagos Islands. Wanted you to get an idea on that. So we're coming to the end, but I wanted to tell you that in addition to this being an all-inclusive experience for 10 nights and your hotels and your flights and your gratuities, we also have an offer right now that includes your flights from North America. So whether you're coming from Canada or from the US, your flights coming in and out of Ecuador are included in the price of your cruise. So I encourage you to get in touch with your direct travel and your Vision travel advisor for them to help you with pricing and availability. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Brenda and Chris have something else that is a surprise. It's actually, in addition to this, that if you book because of this event, you can have. So Brenda, Chris, you want to share that information?
Yes, would love to. Susanna, thank you so much. Every time I listen to you speak, I learn something new, and I can hardly wait to go back to Galapagos and experience it this time on Flora. You inspire me, and those animals are just waiting for me. I know it.
You and I both.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, we're offering what we'd like to call it our adventure card. And, you know, like as Susanna mentioned, you know, with all your excursions, you might be doing a lot of underwater photography or photography in general. You need hats for the sun and you know, some different lightweight clothing, which maybe Susanna can get more into. But so we're offering an Amazon gift card for anyone that books between now and the 17th. And it's just kind of a fun thing for you to, you know, spend some money and planning, you know, prepping for your trip. So you can talk to your travel advisor at Vision or Direct about that. But that with the flight offer, Suzanne, it's quite the opportunity, right?
I love that. I think that's great. And who doesn't like to go shopping and buy new things? And yes, to your point, packing for this experience is a little bit different. There are no formal nights. There's no need to pack heels, or gentlemen, you don't need to bring jackets or ties. This is fully resort casual, and you will need some expedition gear. Like Brenda mentioned, you will need your nice SPF, you know, cover your skin. You are on the equator. You will need your nice hats. You will need those nice pants that are really light, that some of them have zippers and you can make them into shorts. So, and ladies, there is some really stylish stuff out there. When I started this 18 years ago, I had the ugliest wardrobe. Now, not that I cared because I was in Galapagos, right? But now they have nice, cute tops and really cute sandals. So you will want to do some shopping to do this. So this is a great opportunity. So I want to move on to questions because I know you've got some. I hope you can still see me, and I am happy to answer anything that's on your mind.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Susanna. That was great. So we do have some questions. I want to remind people, if they have any questions, to put it in the Q&A. But let's start with a simple one. Are there very many mosquitoes?
Aha. No, they're not. For some reason, there are not a lot of mosquitoes in Galapagos. What we do ask and recommend is that you pack neutral color clothing. There are sometimes a year these flies are very attracted to very bright colors, right? Not to neutrals, but not mosquitoes, no. However, we do have insect repellent on board. You can bring your favorite and use it just in case you want to make sure that you're covering your legs and your feet. But I've never had a problem with mosquitoes, so not an issue, no.
Okay. Excellent. Now, what is the best time of the year to travel to the Galapagos, in your esteemed opinion?
Tomorrow.
Oh, perfect.
Now, and I say that from the bottom of my heart. I think that the worst day in Galapagos is going to be the best day of your life. But if you Google best time of year to go to Galapagos, right? There are two seasons that come up, and the seasons look like this. In the months of about February, March, April, May, right? During our winter, especially Canadian winter, right? It is the hottest time in Galapagos. Their seasons are opposite. Now you are on the equator and you are going to be warm, hot, no matter when you go. But during January, February, March, April, May, the weather is the warmest, with the temperatures being the hottest. Once you get to our summer, June, July, August, September, October, the temperature cools off. And instead of being high 80s, low 90s, you may have temperatures that are more in the high 70s, low 80s, which for me personally, because I like to hike, they're really great. Now, the temperature of the water may be cooler. Now, keep in mind, we provide wetsuits for everyone, right? And if I'm speaking to Canadians here and North Americans that may live in the Northeast or the Northwest, temperature is a very relative thing. For a Floridian like me, if the water temperature is not 90 degrees, I think it's cold. Now, I know that's very different for many of you. So if you're looking to be in the water all the time, and the main reason you're going to Galapagos is because you want to snorkel and be in the water all the time, then do it during your winter, right? Because you're going to get more opportunities and be more in that clear, warmer water. If that is not the main purpose, you're still going to get to do the same amount of snorkeling, but the temperatures for the hikes and being ashore are going to be cooler. So that's kind of how those temperatures change in Galapagos.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so here's a question. This may be, well, maybe for any of you. Do all the cabins on Flora have a balcony?
Yes, all the cabins on Flora have a balcony. Many of them feature our brand new infinite verandas, which is that entire glass wall that with the touch of a button comes down, and then it adds to the enjoyment of your stateroom and your cabin. When you want to close that, that whole entire space becomes part of your cabin, right? Part of your suite. So it all depends. We have traditional verandas, which have a regular door. And then we have our infinite verandas, which allow for that different use of the space. So yes, all 50 of them do.
And I have been in an infinite balcony and it is amazing.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Okay, so to do with age, this is a two-pronged question. One, is this a good trip for someone over 65? And how old should children be to visit Galapagos?
So glad. Whoever asked that, thank you for doing that. Age is a very relative thing. And I would never, ever think about saying that there is a specific age that you should be or not be to go to Galapagos, right? I think 65 is perfect. I think 70 is perfect. I have been on board the vessel with 90-year-olds. It's about your level of physical fitness and activity, right? If you're active, if you can go up and down stairs, if you can get on and off a Zodiac, you're fit to go. If you have some mobility issues, you may have some difficulty in some of the landings. However, because we have different levels of experience when you go ashore, we will accommodate you and we will make sure that you will have an amazing experience. So it's not about age. It is certainly about physical fitness. This is an active vacation and you will need to be getting on and off and you will be doing walks and you will be swimming. So if you're fit to do that, you are great. Now, at the other end of the spectrum and age-wise, well, we don't have a restriction other than I think what our regular South America is for 12 months. A very young child may not be ready for this type of experience, right? This is about listening to a naturalist. This is about listening to a presentation. They can't really run around and run after a little sea lion. So I always say that about 7, 8 is kind of a nice sweet spot. And then teenagers seem to be just mesmerized by this incredible archipelago.
I'll jump
Excellent,
in
thank
here.
Yes.
You know, one of the best vacations of our lifetime, and my 16-year-old twins still talk about their Galapagos adventure, and they went when they were 13. And I think for them, they understood why they had to stay with the naturalists and not run around on their own. They found the animals interesting. They were having new encounters, you know, with the snorkeling. And as a family, it was just a really beautiful experience. And I waited 13 years to take Galapagos because I wanted to do it with my kids as a first thing experience together. So I waited that long because I really wanted to go. So with anybody with families out there, like Susanna mentioned, for ages, it's certainly a wonderful family experience that it'll far outweigh any like short-term you know, pleasurable vacations. Like this is one that will stick in your heart like forever. So
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've got a couple COVID related questions. The first is, what are the current COVID travel restrictions and requirements into Ecuador, say as of June 1st? And the second is, do you require passengers to be vaccinated in order to sail with you to the Galapagos at the moment?
Yeah, that's a great question. And for our first return to service, which is July 4th, yes, our brand does require that all of our guests are vaccinated and they have completed their cycle of vaccines with the dosages and the time that it takes for that immunity to take, which right now is that 2 week after the second dosage. And also to enter Galapagos, the Galapagos Islands require a 96-hour PCR test. So in order to enter Ecuador with that vaccination card, you're good to go to enter Ecuador. And then for all of our packages, we Celebrity Cruises starting in August, right? In July, we've had to tweak it a little bit because it's our return to service. As of August, we are going to be including in all of our packages that 96-hour PCR test to make it really simple and easy for our guests to get to Galapagos. And we will provide the return to the US or North America, depending on what Canada ends up with as far as what the requirements are for re-entry. We will also be providing that test. So we've got it all covered for our guests. Our crew, by the way, is also fully vaccinated. And you should also know that the archipelago of Galapagos has now had 100% every person that lives in the islands their first shot, and more than 66% has had a second shot, and they're expecting it to be at 100% by the end of June. So it's going without a doubt in the right direction. So those are the requirements that for the country as it stands today.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, I think this is a great question. How rough is the water regarding seasickness? Does the size of the ship impact the roughness, such as the 16-passenger versus 100-passenger ship?
That is a fantastic question. And yes, the answer is yes. Obviously, the smaller the vessel, you tend to feel the ship more, right? So I always say, if you are susceptible to motion sickness, my recommendation is that you see your doctor. There are plenty of different things that you can do to get prepared for it. They have all kinds of natural things now that they're like plant-based and herb-based that you can do. You can put behind your ear to help you. The larger the vessel, just so you know, Expedition has stabilizers, and Flora has the latest state-of-the-art technology with stabilizers. Now, the seas are not rough. In Galapagos, the seas are not rough, but you do feel the ocean more. The smaller the vessel, you are going to be feeling the ocean more. Now, you are ashore for a long period of time, right? And we are able to use our stabilizers when we're on the way if we need to. But I always say, if it's something that concerns you, you should really check with a physician to see if they can give you advice on what to take and what to do to get prepared for the possibility of feeling the ocean.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so now we have a question about single supplements or solo supplements. So can you give us an understanding of how you handle solo travelers? Is there a 100% supplement? Is there a reduced supplement at all? I don't know, maybe this is a Brenda or Chris question.
Actually, I can answer that.
Okay, Suzanne,
I'm full of
there you
answers
go.
today because I just got the last email that had all of that information. See, I am ready for you. This is where your direct travel and your vision travel travel advisors can really help you because they have the latest information. We do have our regular supplement for solo travelers is 200%. Every stateroom is double occupancy. However, we do have a list of dates that we have 150%, which is an amazing deal. I always say, let's try to find somebody to go with, right? Because life is better shared with a friend, a family member. But if you don't, and if you prefer to travel on your own and you want your own suite or your own stateroom, which I understand, we do have dates with 150%. So have them check into it. Have your travel advisor call us and we will be happy to look and try to find you some dates where we can accommodate your request.
Perfect. We have a question about the water or getting in the water. Do you offer diving? Because you've talked about snorkeling, but they're wondering if you offer diving.
We do not offer diving. The Galapagos National Park allows certain activities and provides permits for the companies based on those activities, right? We are a ship that offers the visits into the islands, and included with our permits is snorkeling, but we're not permitted for diving. And I want to give you that feedback so you know why, right? If you want to go snorkeling, we recommend that you are fully certified, that you are advanced. Diving in Galapagos is considered an advanced dive. There are outfits in Puerto Ayora that offer diving. And if you want to do that, we're happy to let you know which days, depending on the vessel that you're on. For example, if you're on Flora, we're in Puerto Ayora on Saturdays, and you can make arrangements with an outfit that can pick you up. They can work with us to come get you. Instead of doing the activities that we offer that day, you can go diving, but we do not offer diving from our vessels or have a relationship with any diving company to offer it.
Okay, thank you. Now we have somebody asking if you can tell us a little bit more about the hiking excursion. I think you talked about earlier. So can you elaborate a little bit?
Yes, in certain island locations, we have the opportunity to go hiking. Some of these hikes can be 3 miles, and we go inland, not only to look for the animals, but to look for lagoons, to look for different terrain, to look for plants, to look for birds. Those hikes can be over boulders, they can be over rough terrain. So we do ask that you wear the right type of shoes and that you take a walking stick, which we have plenty on board for you, or you can bring your own. But we do have opportunities for hiking and for nice long walks. And the terrain, it's usually pretty rough. So this is, again, a very active activity.
And would you have a naturalist with you when you're going on these hikes?
Always. Every one of our activities, and it is required by the Galapagos National Park, has to be done accompanied by a Galapagos National Park certified naturalist. So if you're going hiking, you're going to be going with 8, a group of 8. So it'll be you and 7 plus a naturalist going on your hike.
Perfect. Brenda.
Yeah, I just, one of the great things about every evening on board is the naturalists will get together, you'll have cocktails, and they'll tell the story about the adventures that you're going to experience and kind of prep you for what you're going to see and things to watch out for. And then afterwards you can sign up for, usually a land trip, right, Suzanne? Or, you know, usually you're in the water almost every day, sometimes twice a day. It just depends on the stops. So you really get to choose, you know, what you want to go on. And then I think if it's still the case, Susanna, you kind of pick your, if you want, if you're advanced or you're, you know, you want a shorter walk, and they
Well, the activities again, and to your point, during that briefing, you're going to really know how long you're going to be on land, what it entails, how long your walk is going to be. The naturalists are going to tell you whether it's a medium, a low, what's the impact. They get to know you very quickly. You can get up and say, you know, what do you think? You now met me. I have a knee problem. Could I do this hike? And they're going to guide you through the experience, and they're going to make sure that they recommend the right thing for you. So Brenda is right. You get to choose, you get to customize, you get to do something, you know, high impact in the morning and then do something slower in the afternoon. Or if you are super active and you want to do the highest level of impact, you can certainly do that. So there's choices. There's certainly plenty of choices.
That's excellent. Now, is a tennis or running shoe sufficient, or do you feel that a hiking boot, a true hiking boot, is required?
I think there's two things that you must have. You must have a wet, dry type of shoe. The ones that I mean, there's a brand called Tiva. It doesn't have to be Tiva, but that type of shoe where if you're doing a landing that you're putting your feet on the water, it's okay that your feet get wet and you can continue walking with them. And I think a closed toe sneaker is great, something with a little more structure. A hiking boot is fantastic if you really like to hike, keeping in mind that they could get wet when you get off that Zodiac. When I bring my hiking boots, I tie the laces, I put them around my neck. And when I swing out of my Zodiac, I keep them dry. I dry my feet and then I put them on. So you get in the groove of being out and about, and you make it happen.
It's a groove I can't wait to get into, that's for sure.
Yes.
We have a couple more questions and we're coming up on the hour. So we'll just bring these up and then we'll call it an evening. Is there a rainy season?
Actually, when you pull that, what's the best time of year to go to Galapagos? There's going to be a rainy season. What's interesting about the rainy season in Galapagos is that it really only rains in the highlands, which we only visit one day, right? That's when we go do the tree planting and we do an incredible experience at a private ranch with the giant tortoises that live there, right? So rain is truly not an issue in Galapagos any time of year for our experiences.
Okay. We have someone here who has a concern about the elevation of the airport in the first few days in Ecuador. Have you had any experience with people having altitude sickness?
Actually, we do recommend that on arrival, and it's a great question, because when we first launched this experience, we struggled with the perception of Quito as a high altitude city. And us offering that day there. And as we got to talk about it and really find the nice mix, we found that Quito, being a World Heritage Site and being the capital of Ecuador, had so much to offer that it would be a shame not to have that one day, right? That one day that you can get to feel and see and taste that city. Understanding that it is a high altitude city. So when you arrive, we advise all of our guests to go to their rooms, drink a lot of water, get hydrated and relax. And we discourage people from having alcohol on that arrival day. The next day, we start our experience. Now, our experience is very well paced. There is breakfast in the morning. We get on our buses. We do our tours, and we do pace our guests, understanding that we are in a high altitude city. Now, if you happen to have any health issues where high altitude could be an issue, please see your physician. Again, make sure that you're fit to do this. We've been doing this for a very long time, and our guests get to truly tolerate the altitude in Quito pretty well. I happen to have asthma. When I get to Quito, I slow down. I don't run around like I do in Miami. I don't take stairs. I use the elevators. and I do feel the altitude, right? But I am able to adapt. And if you stay very hydrated and you keep a slow pace, we are able to get through that day and enjoy that capital city and have an amazing experience for our guests.
Perfect, thank you. And we appreciate the transparency there and the explanation. It's fantastic. Okay, so 2 more questions. The first is actually about price, and I'm going to answer this one and say there's so many variations depending on which ship and which itinerary and when you want to go. The best thing to do is to talk to your travel advisor, and they will get all the pricing for you and all the inclusions and all the details that you need based on what you're looking to do. So we typically don't talk pricing on these because it's such a variable answer, and it's just easier to work out exactly what you're looking for. The last question is to do with proof of vaccination, and what do you require or accept as proof of vaccination? And I like this question because it means somebody's kind of serious about this. What do you require as proof of COVID-19 vaccination when a guest is looking to travel?
Again, great question. And Steve, in full transparency, and I am pretty transparent because I want our guests to really know exactly what they are going to be up against, right? Every country, every government has defined what proof of vaccination is. In the United States, where I live, we have a card, and this card is our proof of vaccination. That is what we would have to show. That is what we have to show when we enter Ecuador and what we will require on our vessels. I don't know what proof of vaccination may be in Canada. I have a feeling you will have some type of official proof that you will be given when you get your vaccination, and that will be what will be required to travel to Ecuador and to be on our vessel.
Okay, thank you. And then we've had one more question come in. What is the cancellation policy because of the COVID uncertainty? Do you want to just review that for our...
I'm going to let Brenda handle that because she knows that by heart.
Perfect.
Well, right now we've extended our cruise with confidence policy until July 31st. So any bookings that you do for Galapagos, you have up until 48 hours prior to sailing. If you do cancel, then we just put that money into a future cruise credit and you can use it on something else. So really, you can't lose because you're going to get in on, the best price and availability when you want to go. And we got you covered. You won't lose any money if you decide at the last moment you can't go. And depending on when you go, like Susanna said, the times may change and conditions may change, but for people who are cruising with us, right away, say in July, if you want to go down with Susanna, we have a COVID-19 coverage, and that's something, once again, that, you can discuss with the travel advisor, and that's Chris and my job to make sure that all the advisors have that information. So we'll make sure you're well informed to plan this amazing experience.
And Brenda, is that book by July 31st or cruise by July? That's book by, right?
Book by July 31st, yeah. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And it's for sailings up until May of 2022, right?
That is correct. And I was just going to ask Chris if he had any other thoughts on that, because I know that we have a very, very robust policy that covers our guests if they happen to get sick 14 days prior, up to 14 days prior to sailing. I mean, we are really, our flexibility to make sure that people feel comfortable in booking, and especially now with the vaccination efforts in North America, I think this is becoming less and less of an issue, where 6 months ago we were kind of in this unknown place. So Chris, if you want to add anything to that, I think Brenda covered it pretty well.
And you capped it off perfectly. You can keep me honest here, though, Susanna, and I think this is a great news story, is that we understand, obviously, over the last year or a little bit longer, we did have to cancel many sailings, and many of you were gracious enough to accept a future cruise credit through direct travel or through Vision Travel. And I believe you can actually use those current future cruise credits toward Galapagos. So you might have been going to Europe. Susanna's got you guys going to Galapagos now. You can actually apply those. So I think it's really important to note you might already have a really great jump start. There's no better reason to go with all of these great offers. And then you add those FCCs. It's going to sound salesy, but it's probably going to cost you more money to stay at home, and you won't be able to be with the iguanas and the
I love that.
That's
Yes,
right.
it is
That's
good money, and we're happy to apply it.
Yeah, very, very important because it takes those that are, whatever you had, and it triples the value of taking it to the Galapagos. I mean, really, real gift.
Excellent. So that's the end of our questions. Before we go, can someone remind me of that adventure card and what the value of that is if they reserve a cabin aboard a Galapagos cruise, and what the time frame is?
Yes, so it's for any bookings that are done between now and June 17th, and it's $100. And you get to
Excellent.
spend it however you want on Amazon, and hopefully towards, a hat or something for your water shoes, something for your Galapagos trip. But whatever you spend it on, it's our pleasure. It's with our pleasure.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Susanna. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Chris. Thanks to everybody who joined us this evening and this afternoon. For some, we really appreciate it. Sorry about the technical difficulties at the beginning,
Yes.
but I think we came out of it nicely. Thank you for all the great questions that you provided, and please stay safe, and we look forward to welcoming you in the Galapagos and on our next virtual event in the near future. So have a great evening. Thanks.
Thank you.